Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
And looking at some showers and thunderstorms starting to develop back to our west. We'll likely see heavy rain a little later on today. I'll show you what time it arrives where you are.
And road rage suspect in court. The man accused in a shooting that left a 5-year-old hurt is due to face a judge today. We list out the charges and get an update on the girl's condition from her family.
And holiday travel. Today is expected to be one of the busiest days on the road for the July 4th holiday. What you need to know about traffic before you get into the car. Oh, yes, folks, it is Wednesday, 8 o'clock in the morning. We are halfway through the week. Let's lock in. Thanks for joining us here on WRAL News on Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, a lot to get to. A lot of people are traveling today. Today's a big travel day for the holiday weekend upcoming. People want to know what the weather is going to be as well. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is starting to see a little more rain on the map.
We've been tracking this cold front back to the west, and some of the showers and thunderstorms that developed late yesterday made a run at us last night and fizzled. And so now, as we're getting into a little bit of daylight, we're starting to see more of these developing back to the west. It's a fairly slow-moving front, and there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. So some of these cells, as we get closer to lunchtime, are going to get bigger and bigger and dump a lot of heavy rain. You can see some lightning with this one in the southern part of Person County. Another one popping up there near Hillsborough, and we will see more and more of this as this front moves across our area over the next several hours. Likely to be around a 60% chance at lunchtime, 70% early afternoon, by 5 o'clock tapering off to around a 40% chance. Gray skies right now, and the skies will remain gray all day, keeping our temperatures cooler this afternoon, but it's pretty warm and muggy right now, 77 with a dew point of 71. Hour by hour, we'll just top out in the mid-80s for this afternoon. We do have much hotter conditions on our way for the holiday weekend. We'll check that out coming up. Jeff?
Thanks, Elizabeth. We're taking a look at the big picture here. Traffic around the Beltline. One of the major concerns happening right now, because as this travel week holiday comes upon us, this is the witching hour. A lot of folks getting up and out for their day. So we're going to zoom in just a little bit closer on some of these Beltline issues that are happening right now, because the downtown crash, Edenton Street, Dawson Street, not causing any problems there. But live look, as you see another one pop up down there. This is the big one I'm worried about here, this Wade Avenue crash near I-440 westbound. So feeding on from Wade Avenue onto the Beltline, big issue, causing some backups on Wade right now. The residuals are probably going to come onto I-440 as well. That's the Raleigh look right now. We're going to take you for some drive times out of Durham. Don't want to ignore those folks there, but looking pretty good there. Coming from Infinity Road, 501, just a minute delay. From NC 50 to 98, just a 2-minute delay right there. I'll be back, but you can always catch us if you're headed out. 101.5 HD3 on the radio.
All right, thank you, Jeff. A person is dead after a crash near Durham. The crash happened around 10 o'clock last night at the Old Oxford and Red Mill Roads. That's near Falls Lake. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was on scene. We are working to learn more information about how the crash happened and the name of the person who was killed. The North Carolina Highway Patrol is investigating.
And this morning, fire and hazmat teams are returning to the scene of a pool supply company in Clayton. That's where they responded to an emergency last night. And when firefighters arrived, smoke was coming from the Bay State Pool Supply Suite. Sky 5 was overhead, and the WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there on the ground. No employees were there at the time when this happened, and no one was injured. Investigators say a pallet of shock got wet and then produced chlorine gas, causing this situation to unfold. But they say people who live nearby might notice a smell in the air, but folks, it is not harmful.
As you're preparing for your July 4th travel today, you'll need to be aware of potential traffic backups. Millions of Americans are expected to be on the roads for the holiday weekend. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Raleigh this morning. And Kelsey, today and Sunday expected to be the busiest day for drivers. The earlier you get out, the better.
Yes, Michelle. So that's why we're tracking gas prices here on Gorman Street in Raleigh. So gas is $2.97 here at this VP. It's the same price across the street at the Exxon. Now, these numbers are above the state average that AAA reported earlier this morning. AAA says today will be the busiest day for road travel ahead of the holiday. They estimate 61.6 million drivers will be on the road between now and Sunday. That's the highest on record. They say the best time to head out the door is right now. They recommend leaving any time before noon, so you'll see the most traffic between 12 and 9 o'clock tonight. there is some good news for drivers. Summer gas prices are the lowest they've been since 2021 during the pandemic, according to AAA. Now, if you want to find out about the cheapest gas prices here in our area, head to WRAL.com and search Fuel Tracker. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And just a heads up, drivers, keep an eye on those gas prices this week. New data from AAA this morning shows the average price in Raleigh is around $2.93. Wilmington is around $2.91. And Asheville is sitting at $2.90. Statewide, gas prices have dropped several cents over the last week.
And this morning, state officials are warning people about travel safety and the dangers of hot cars during the July 4th holiday. A news conference this morning will highlight the dangers of leaving people and pets in hot cars. Authorities will also give travel safety advice before you hit the road. Today's event is scheduled to start at 10 a.m. in Benson.
Today, the man accused in a road rage shooting that put a 5-year-old in the hospital is expected in court. Charles Stevenson Jr. was taken into custody last night, and he's facing several charges, including assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill and discharging a firearm into occupied property. His arrest happened a day after shots were fired into a pickup truck during rush hour Monday on US 1 in Cary. That 5-year-old girl named Emma was in that truck and was hit in the leg.
Stevenson's arrest comes as a huge relief for Emma's family. For the first time on camera and only on WRAL, we are hearing from the girl's family about the moments after she was shot. Emma's aunt, Aubrey Allison, says she got a phone call shortly after what police call an act of road rage. Police say a bullet passed through the 5-year-old's leg before lodging in her sippy cup. Allison says Emma has been through multiple surgeries and is now doing well. She describes the difficult moments after she found out about the shooting.
To hear the wailing from her mother last night when we went to greet her at the hospital, it just, no mother or parent wants to get that phone call.
That is so scary. Emma is now facing extended physical therapy after the bullet took a chunk of her leg. A GoFundMe has been set up to help cover the cost of the medical bills. You can learn more about how you can help by clicking on this story on WRAL.com.
President Donald Trump's federal spending bill is moving one step closer to a final vote in the U.S. House. Early this morning, the House Rules Committee voted to advance the rules to debate the bill. The House now must vote on the rules before the floor can be open for a debate and eventually a final vote. The bill is returning to the House with changes after it narrowly passed the Senate. And there are some House Republicans who have indicated they would vote against the rule on the floor. In a Fox News interview, House Speaker Mike Johnson said the timeline on a vote is being affected by weather as lawmakers are trying to make their way to Washington.
And new this morning, Hamas says it is open to a ceasefire deal with Israel as long as it includes a total end to the war in Gaza. The announcement came hours after President Donald Trump said Israel agreed to the, quote, necessary conditions for a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza. The president made the announcement on Truth Social after U.S. representatives met with Israeli leaders yesterday. Israel has yet to confirm the announcement. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to visit the White House next week.
A South Carolina sheriff's deputy is dead because they were shot and killed, and authorities say this was an ambush. The Darlington County Sheriff's Office says Deputy Devin Mason and another deputy responded to a home early yesterday morning. They were looking for 25-year-old Cameron Dennett, who was wanted on multiple charges. Well, the Sheriff's Office says Dennett shot Mason and his partner. Dennett was eventually shot and killed, but it's not exactly clear what led up to the shooting. And another person at the home was also taken into custody. The injured deputy is expected to be okay.
A new report reveals Raleigh Fire Department's response times are falling short of national standards. A Raleigh Fire Master Plan found only 54% of first units arrive within the recommended time frame of 4 minutes, and only 48% meet the effective response force goals. These findings were presented to the Raleigh City Council last night. They cite reasons such as long travel time and lengthy alarm handling time for the issues. North Carolina Fire Chief Consulting's Greg Grayson says growth is part of the reason some metrics could be slipping behind.
I think it's important for you as elected officials and policymakers and decision makers to recognize as your growth increases, so does your demand for services.
A possible solution outlined in this new plan would be more fire trucks and stations for the Raleigh Fire Department. City Manager Marshall Adams David says Raleigh Fire continues to do an amazing job despite the report.
The town of Wendell's annual fireworks show is today, and that'll be held at Wendell Park. The event will start at 6 p.m. and fireworks will kick off at 9 p.m. There will be nearly 24 food trucks and music for everyone to enjoy. But just a reminder, you are asked not to bring any personal fireworks or sparklers, coolers, or even animals. You can find more details on the town's website. And even more July 4th festivities are almost here. WRAL Out and About has a map and a list of more than 24 local fireworks displays and Independence Day festivals. That includes in Raleigh, and Durham, Cary, Apex, Gardner, and Clayton, too. Just search the word fireworks on WRAL.com.
This morning, a North Carolina nonprofit is unveiling a new resource aimed at keeping people out of prison after they have already served their time. The Recidivism Reduction Educational Program and Services Organization is hosting a ribbon cutting for its second mobile center. The first one was unveiled back in January. The organization says it has already helped more than 3,000 people. The center will provide resources such as education, vocational training, mental health support, and housing assistance. Today's ribbon cutting will be on Greens Dairy Road in Raleigh at 11:15.
The time is 8:11. Fireworks warehouse explosion. We're going to show you more of this right here, plus hear what authorities have revealed about their investigation.
And cell phone free classrooms. A new law creates restrictions in North Carolina schools. The new educational opportunities students will also be getting in the classroom.
And beginning to see some small cells popping up. We have a cold front that's crossing our area, or at least is going to cross our area as we get through the day today. Some of the storms will bring some heavy rain. We'll talk about our flooding potential coming up. 8:14. I know a lot of folks are looking forward to heading to the beach for the big holiday weekend. How's the weather going to be? Well, it will be hot. We would expect that, sure. 85 to 90 degrees. Now, remember how things tend to happen at the beach in the afternoon? You see this big towering cumulus clouds, mainly just inland from the beaches, and then we have a line of thunderstorms, and those keep moving inland. So that's along what we call the sea breeze front. So 20 to 30% chance that we'll see that developing. There may be a slightly higher chance right along our farthest southern beaches because the potential for a tropical system developing well to our south. And we're going to talk more about that coming up. UV index will be very high. Rip current danger will be at least at moderate. So you really want to be watching out for that. Rip currents are likely this weekend at the coast, especially with that potential tropical system. Scattered storms are possible, but there's no need to cancel your plans. It looks like most of the rain that would happen with that system would be well to our south. Today's weather maker is a cold front moving across our area that's likely to bring some heavy rain and possibly some flooding. In our Ask the Meteorologist segment, meteorologist Chris Michaels talks about our frequency of flooding.
Take a look right now, South Saunders Street, I-40, just south of downtown Raleigh, moving along nicely at this hour right here. And if you look at the big picture, looking for any trouble spots out there, I can point out a couple of them. This is Morrisville Parkway and NC 55. That crash just popped up a couple of minutes ago. It's saying it's a serious crash. It's a big intersection right there. Could cause big problems. I'll get to that. But also in downtown Raleigh right there, there have been a couple of incidents in downtown Raleigh that have now cleared up. This one, crash investigation still continues there. That's at Jones Street and North Boylan Avenue. But you see, coming down Capitol Boulevard into downtown, there was a crash right there at Dawson. It shows cleared, but still backups in that area. 101.5 HD3. Catch us on the radio as you head out the door.
All right, thank you, Jeff. A fireworks factory in California caught fire, creating a wild scene that included several explosions. Look at this. A 1-mile evacuation order had to be put in place in the surrounding area. Look at that. Fireworks went off as a result of that fire. No word yet on what caused that initial fire.
Yeah, they're talking about spot fires about 80 acres. That's how severe that was. Your child will soon learn about the risk and ways to protect themselves on social media. It's a new requirement for North Carolina students under a new law the governor signed yesterday. Now, the law also requires students to keep their phones off during class. Students will learn about misinformation on social media, its negative effects on mental health, and how to identify cyberbullying and human trafficking.
These are foundational skills that set the stage for building critical thinking skills later on.
The new social media literacy training starts in the 2026 school year.
The city of Raleigh is giving up on plans to widen parts of Six Forks Road. We've been telling you about this project since it first came up in 2012. Originally, the plan was to widen the road from Lynn Road down to the Beltline. Leaders shrank the footprint last year to accommodate the rising costs and stay in budget. Then the cost of the smaller project swelled by more than 65% in the last year. Last night, the city council decided to spend the money on safety improvements and design of a multimodal bridge in the area instead. And parts of western North Carolina were hit with flooding after several inches of rain fell there. Pictures and video from Facebook show flash flooding from Blowing Rock Road in Boone. That area also experienced flooding from Helene last year. More than 4 inches of rain fell in the Boone area, causing this most recent flooding. And flooding has gotten the attention of some of our viewers. One wrote to meteorologist Chris Michaels to see if flooding is becoming more frequent. So we're asking that in today's Ask the Meteorologist, Chris.
Yeah, and it's not just across North Carolina, it's across our viewing area specifically. Data shows that over the past 5 years, we've had more than 300 reports of flooding. The 5 years prior, there was 172. From 2010 to 2015, there were 150. And look at that, from 2005 to 2010, there were only 109 flood reports across our viewing area. So yeah, over the past 5 years, we've seen quite a bit. According to Climate Central, this is partially due to the fact that rainfall rates are increasing by the hundredths per hour. That's by about 21%. Most of the country seeing that as well. And it kind of makes sense. If you're going to warm things up, that means there's more water vapor for our storms to work with. And so it comes down to the surface, leads to heavier rain. And unfortunately, that flooding is costly at times. In the year 2020, it cost North Carolina about $674 million. Now, there's a localized flood threat for us today. We're going to walk through the hour by hour with Elizabeth coming up in her complete forecast.
Wrightsville Beach is celebrating its first sea turtle nest of the season. That nest was found on Sunday. The town shared these photos on social media, and you can see all the tracks right there in the sand, little turtle tracks. As we approach the 4th of July holiday, the town wants to remind you to stay away from any marked turtle nest. This will give them the space they need and help protect their chances of survival. Now, if you see any turtle tracks in the sand, you are asked to report it immediately. The annual Chinese Lantern Festival is returning this year, and tickets are already on sale. This will mark 10 years for the event held at Kokobuth Amphitheater in Cary. It'll be held from November 15th through January 11th. And crafters are already making more than 40 new displays. You can get your tickets on Kokobuth's website.
I can't believe we're already talking about that already.
Tickets are for sale already.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy. It's crazy. We're also talking about the fact that we're dry now, but that's going to change later on.
We do have a cold front that's going to be swinging through. That's going to be our next weather maker. Yesterday, well to our west, there was a big line of thunderstorms that came through the triad. Some of that kind of made a run at us last night and fizzled out. But we're starting to see some redevelopment along that front to our west, and that front gradually will move across our area today. A little bit of lightning popped up with this cell. This one looks like it's starting to weaken just a little bit. Looks like the lightning has died down out of that. But I'll tell you, this system has a history of producing a lot of lightning. I drove through it late yesterday, coming back home from the mountains. So we'll see a lot of lightning with this and a lot of heavy downpours. So much moisture in the atmosphere. Chris was just talking about that. And there's a lot to work with in the atmosphere right now. So some flooding is a possibility. Here's a look at Futurecast. You can watch that development of that line of showers and thunderstorms. So once we get to 11 or 12, we start to see those lines forming up, and the rain will be heavy. Places, especially that tend to flood easily or regularly where you are, may flood today. This is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then once we get to 5 o'clock, most of the rain is over. Could be a few more isolated showers. But once we hit sunset, things looking pretty good. Wendell has their fireworks this evening, and that's at 9 o'clock. We should be fine. 70% chance of rain today, and then just a very small chance Thursday or Sunday. I wouldn't necessarily change any outdoor plans because of that. I think things will be just fine. Our next weather maker behind today's front is a high pressure system that builds in. This is going to keep things hot and dry for us over the holiday weekend. But down to the south near Florida, there may be a tropical system that develops. It's a small chance, just a 40% chance. And most of the rain that would develop with this would end up being well to our south, maybe creeping up to our very southern coastline. But it's not something that I would be concerned about if you're planning to head to the beach. Here's how the development may happen, though. Stalled front, the front moving through today, stalls tomorrow offshore. Friday, a low develops, and it's just a 40% chance that it could become tropical. So again, I wouldn't cancel any plans just yet. Today will be cooler with the chance of rain, looking at highs in the mid-80s. And then after that, through the holiday weekend, highs will be in the 90s. It'll be humid, but it'll be fairly dry for your outdoor plans, Jeff.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Holiday travel. We're taking a look here at what is happening around the big picture, around the Beltline, downtown Raleigh, things happening. But this crash that just popped up in Morrisville, I want to take a little closer look at that for you because it's right at a major intersection there in Morrisville. A serious crash, NC 55 and Morrisville Parkway, and it's in the northbound lane. So you see some of those backups happening right there. Let me get some more information on this and see if there are any injuries to report coming out of that. But also downtown, I had mentioned this serious crash here, Blue Ridge Road. This is a new one near Durley Road. It just popped up. We had a crash down here on Wade Avenue leading right into the Beltline there. That crash icon has cleared, but the traffic is still heavy in that area, as you can see. And downtown, there have been a couple of wrecks in the downtown area, but as you see, just south of downtown, I-40 and South Saunders moving along just fine. Check us out on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Still ahead, affordable child care. Governor Josh Stein laying out his plan to solve what he calls a multi-billion-dollar crisis. We'll talk about the bipartisan reforms he's pushing for.
And best summer deals. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur will show you what to buy this month to save big and what you can skip.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. You can see some cloud cover behind me over downtown Raleigh. That's going to increase throughout the day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking some rain showers too.
Our next weather maker is a cold front that's going to be crossing the area from west to east. A couple of thunderstorms have started to pop up, but weaken a little bit here just south of Roxborough. You can see that one starting to fade out a little bit, but there's definitely more to come. And heavy rainfall, downpours actually, will be our biggest threat for today. Temperatures heading out the door warm. It's muggy. 76 Wilson. 77 in Durham, 79 in Fayetteville. Our best chance of rain comes mid-morning through the middle of the afternoon, and our highs will be in the mid-80s. Jeff?
Yeah, busy day for travel out there, certainly, as we take a look around our area here, downtown Raleigh. Couple of incidents, really not too bad though, but I take you out to Morrisville Parkway and NC 55 where there is a serious crash right at that intersection, not causing a whole lot of delays, but slowdowns for certain in that area. Be prepared for that. Another serious crash happened just a bit ago, Blue Ridge Road near Durley Road. And as you see, Blue Ridge feeds right down onto Wade Avenue right there. There are some major backups there, not necessarily from that crash. 101.5 HD3 is the place to take us on the road.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And AAA says today will be the busiest day for road travel ahead of the holiday weekend. Gas prices are the lowest they've been since July 4th, 2021. The average price in Raleigh is just under $3. For the cheapest gas prices in our area, go to WRAL.com and search Fuel Tracker. Today, the man accused in a road rage shooting that injured a 5-year-old is expected in court. This happened on US 1 in Cary. Charles Stevenson Jr. facing charges, including assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill and discharging a firearm into occupied property. Up next on Fox 50, the update of the condition of the girl who was fatal. It was shot from her.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Tracking our front, starting to pop up some showers and thunderstorms back to our west. I'll show you when you could see some heavy rain later today.
Now at 8:30, suspected road rage arrest. A man accused of shooting a 5-year-old girl in a traffic dispute expected in court today. The charges he faces and a message from that young girl's family.
Plus, packed highways and busy airports. Millions of Americans expected to travel this 4th of July weekend, with today expected to be the busiest for drivers. Ahead, what you need to know before you head out the door to your holiday destination. I am one of those that will be traveling on July 4th at RDU, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah, we'll have everything you need to know before you head out the door. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Chris Levingood. What's that old American saying? May the odds forever be in your favor?
Be in my favor.
Little
I hope so.
Hunger Games joke there. Hey, we've got Elizabeth Gardner here. She appreciates my nerddom a little bit.
I do. And Michelle, the weather looks fine for Friday. And, hopefully by Friday, everybody else has already gotten to where they're going. So fingers crossed for you. Right now, we're looking at showers and storms popping up again back to our west. This time, the cold front slides all the way through, and it'll bring us the potential for some heavy rain starting around mid-morning through the middle of the afternoon. We had a little cell pop up with some thunder and lightning there that was in the southern part of Person County there just a few minutes ago. That looks like it's begun to weaken a little bit, but here comes the front. It's still to our west, and as it slides eastward and interacts with all the moisture in the atmosphere, we are likely to have some heavy downpours. I don't think we'll have a lot of wind damage, but flooding's a possibility. By lunchtime, we're at a 50 to 60% chance, and then that tapers off by the evening commute. So midday is going to be where we'll have the chance for some of that heavier rain. Cloudy skies in Lewisburg, 77 degrees, and it is muggy with that 71-degree dew point. Our highs are on the cooler side, though, in the mid-80s. Coming up, I'll show you when we're back to the 90s, Jeff.
Yeah, we're going to show folks this live look. I-40 South Saunders Street right here, moving along just fine. But there are, as we take a look at the big picture, just a few crash icons that we are following out there. Not a huge deal. There's a spot in Morrisville I'll show you in just a second, but I want to take you right now near Durley Road. This is happening right here, this serious crash, Blue Ridge. So Edwards Mill is going to be your way to get around that for certain. Wade Avenue still with some backups there, even after one of the accidents we told you earlier had cleared from that area right now. So give you drive times around the Raleigh area right now, just 3 minutes as you're coming down from Wake Forest, and relatively unaffected everywhere else, 1 minute in from Knightdale. So I take it back out to Morrisville now. That's this crash you're seeing right here, because that's a serious crash there. You see the backups building there. Slowdowns, I should say, right now. Highway 55 near Morrisville Parkway. Plan on that if that's your route this morning. 101.5 HD3, the place to catch us when you're in your car.
A person was killed in a crash near Durham, and that crash happened around 10 o'clock last night at Old Oxford and Red Mill Roads. That's near Falls Lake. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there for the aftermath, and we are working to learn more information about how that crash happened and the name of the person who was killed. We do know the North Carolina Highway Patrol is investigating.
And a live look at RDU and the roadways. A record-breaking number of people are expected to travel for the 4th of July. According to AAA, nearly 6 million people will be flying to their destinations, and many more will be driving. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Raleigh this morning. And Kelsey, today expected to be the busiest day on the roads ahead of the holiday.
Yes, Michelle, today is the day, so that's why we're tracking gas prices here on Gorman Street in Raleigh. So check it out here, $2.97 a gallon at this BP. It's the same price across the street at the Exxon. Now, this is above the state average that AAA reported earlier this morning. AAA says today will be the busiest day for road travel ahead of the holiday. They estimate 61.6 million drivers will be on the road between now and Sunday. That's the highest on record. They say the best time to head out the door is right now. They recommend leaving any time before noon. So you'll see the worst of the traffic between 12 and 9 o'clock tonight. But there is good news for drivers. Summer gas prices are the lowest they've been since 2021 during the pandemic, according to AAA. Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says you can save even more based on where you fill up.
If you're crossing the state boundary, keep in mind, too, South Carolina tends to have quite a bit lower gas prices. If you're heading north, well, you'll probably want to fill up in North Carolina.
And those prices vary from state to state because each state has a different gasoline tax. Now, if you want information about the cheapest gas prices here in our area, head to WRAL.com and search Fuel Tracker. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And we'll show you some of those prices right now. Taking a look at the prices at the pump you'll see as you travel for the holiday. New data released by AAA shows the average price in Raleigh around $2.93. If you're going to Myrtle Beach, that's $2.73. And out in the mountains, that'll cost you $2.90 a gallon. All of those numbers are down from last week.
Today, the man accused in a suspected road rage shooting in Cary that left a 5-year-old with a gunshot wound is expected in court. 20-year-old Charles Stevenson Jr. was taken into custody last night, and he's facing charges including assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. Now, the arrest happened a little more than a day after the suspected road rage case, and police say that shots were fired into a truck during rush hour on US 1 in Cary. That 5-year-old girl named Emma, she was in that vehicle, and she was shot through the leg. Her mother says that bullet ended up in her sippy cup, and WRAL talked with Emma's family about what happened.
What an image that is, and it's nothing that you ever hope happens in your own life.
5-year-old. Emma is now facing extended physical therapy, and a GoFundMe is available to help cover the cost of the medical bills. You can learn more about how you can help by clicking on the story on WRAL.com.
A live look at Capitol Hill. The House Rules Committee voted to advance the rules to debate President Trump's federal spending bill this morning. The full House now must vote on the rules before the floor can be open for a debate and a final vote. The bill is returning to the House with changes after it was narrowly passed in the Senate with new changes.
This morning, the jury will return to deliberations in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial. And after 2 days, they reached a verdict on 4 of the 5 charges. The judge announced the jury reached a verdict on the 2 counts each of sex trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution. However, the jury cannot agree on the racketeering conspiracy charge. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all 5 counts.
Happening today, the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022 is expected to plead guilty in court. Brian Koberger will plead guilty to 4 counts of murder and face life in prison, avoiding the death penalty. This comes 1 month before his long-anticipated quadruple murder trial was set to begin in Boise. The news is shocking family members of the college students. One father saying he will, quote, never see this as justice.
A man accused of attacking 2 people in Raleigh with a piece of wood while naked is now facing charges. This happened on Atlantic Avenue just before 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Police say that man threatened a driver to get out of their car and drop everything. Well, the victim complied, but was still hit with a wooden post, according to authorities. The suspect then approached a woman in her car, a different vehicle, and he's accused of hitting her with the post and then pulling her from the car. He then tried to drive away, but couldn't get the car out of park. The man was arrested in a storage room nearby, and authorities have not said if this man was experiencing a mental health crisis.
3 Wake County deputies are on administrative leave after a man was shot at his home. We brought you the story yesterday morning as breaking news. Deputies were called to a home after someone called the suicide prevention hotline threatening to hurt themselves. Investigators say the caller's stepfather, 32-year-old Brian Monroe, was at the door with a gun when deputies arrived and fired at them. Deputies fired back, hitting Monroe. Monroe's wife showed WRAL the Ring doorbell video, and it doesn't appear to show Monroe firing a shot. A deputy was threatened, treated, and released from the hospital. The sheriff is launching an internal investigation in this.
Let's go ahead and give you a live look at Raleigh this morning. The city approved new steps to support affordable housing and an update on the relocation of Red Hat Amphitheater. Last night, City Council shared updates on several projects in the downtown area. The amphitheater is finishing its design and expected to open in 2027, with the convention center construction to follow after the amphitheater opening. That's expected to open in 2029. The city also approved several steps to support affordable housing, including funding a little more than $1 million for a nonprofit to help repair affordable apartments.
Governor Stein has released a plan to tackle the lack of affordable child care. Stein says the crisis is becoming a multi-billion-dollar crisis. He worked with lawmakers from both parties, business leaders, early education experts, and others to develop some reforms. It includes providing subsidies for low-income families and also making jobs in child care more appealing to people. Stein says that unaffordable, or unavailable care is forcing new parents out of the workforce. That's costing the state more than $5 billion every year in lost productivity.
UNC Health is negotiating a new contract with Cigna Insurance. The current agreement expires November 30th, and without a new contract, Cigna will consider UNC Health providers out of network, and prices would go up. That would happen December 1st, and it would affect more than 60,000 people. Patients should see no effects, though, during the negotiation phase.
Morrisville's new police chief will officially be sworn in today. A ceremony for Justin Rosser will be held this afternoon at Town Hall. It'll be open to the public and starts at 4:30. Rosser has 21 years of law enforcement experience. He replaces former Chief Pete Acosta.
The Pentagon is halting some shipments of military weapons, including air defense missiles, going to Ukraine. White House leadership says this is the result of a review of military spending and U.S. support to foreign countries, but it's unclear if this will affect support to other countries.
Time now is 8:41. Watching your wallet. It's the first week of July, which means new deals. Just ahead, Consumer Report shares which big ticket items are on sale this month.
And the town of Wendell is getting a head start on the 4th of July celebrations. How you can catch their fireworks show ahead of the holiday weekend.
And as we head to break, we'll take you live out over RDU. It's going to be busy the next couple of days there with everybody traveling. We'll also get a bit of relief from the heat. Just ahead, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking a cool down and the next weather maker.
.44, taking a live look at Beaufort. I love this view here. It's so pretty. It is cloudy right now, and we do have a front that'll move offshore. We're also going to be talking more coming up in a little bit about a coastal system that may develop well to our south. At this point, it doesn't look like it would have a big impact on the holiday weekend on our coast. But here's what you should expect. It'll be hot. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s to near 90. Our storm chance is 20 to 30%. Typically what we see happening this time of year, and especially for the weekend, is we have a line that develops just inland from the beaches along what we call the sea breeze front and continues to trek inland. UV index will be high, rip current danger moderate. So expect there to be rip currents and be on the lookout for those. A few just scattered storms. It shouldn't be anything that causes any, ongoing major problems for you at the beach. I would not cancel plans because of any of it. Here's a look at our 4th of July weekend planner here. Our highs will be back into the 90s, but we do stay fairly dry. We'll take a look at the fireworks forecast coming up.
Take you over towards Durham. I want to give you a live look. I-40 at Durham Freeway area. The reason I show you this is because there are some backups in that area because of a crash that happened there. Things look fine right there. That's normal volume. But this incident here in Durham Freeway southbound near I-40 westbound, I showed you that camera trying to pick it up, but it seems like all of the backups are coming off of I-885 and in both directions as well. So we'll look into that just a little bit further for you this morning. Drive times out of Durham, want to see how that is affecting folks. Right now, it's a 2-minute delay from NC 50, as you see there, just 1 minute elsewhere from Infinity Road, but looking okay despite that crash and those backups on 885.
And we're following breaking news out of New York City. More than a dozen people are hurt after at least 2 buses crashed at the Port Authority bus terminal, and that forced the terminal to shut down. I'm going to play this video for you so you can see the emergency response. A total of 14 people were hurt. They were all checked out at the scene and are expected to be okay. This actually happened just 2 hours ago at the height of rush hour. There's huge disruptions for traffic there. New Jersey transit buses are being diverted to other terminals, and big delays in the Lincoln Tunnel, up to an hour delay. We'll keep tracking this for you here in the Live Center.
Thank you, Renee. If you need a new mattress, a TV, or appliance, July may be the right time to buy. Top-rated items in nearly every category are on sale thanks to Amazon's Prime Day and other Christmas in July sales. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur has the best deals to shop for right now.
It is officially July, and get this, consumer spending is actually trending downward. That's good, save your money. But if you are in the market for a little shopping spree, Consumer Reports tracks the prices of its top-rated items all year long, and here are the ones that are on discount for July.
This month kicks off with 4th of July sales on big-ticket items like grills, mattresses, and major appliances.
Keep things cool with this top-rated fridge from LG. It earned high marks in CR's lab tests for temperature control and noise. And right now, it's more than $600 off at the Home Depot. If you're looking for a new mattress, check out this Lisa Legend Hybrid. It's on sale for under $2,000 on the company's website. CR's test found that Lisa's combo of inner springs and foam is great for back sleepers. And there's plenty of buildup to Prime Day, which runs from July 8th to the 11th. If you're in the market for a new TV, check out this Amazon 55-inch 4K TV from its Omni series. It's QLED model with a mini LED backlight, which CR's testing has found can help boost contrast and improve black levels. If you're ready to soak up the sun this July, do not forget the sunscreen. This pricey La Roche-Posay sunscreen milk is a favorite of skincare influencers and CR's testers. And right now, it's almost $10 off at Walmart. Because what's better than saving a little green while celebrating the red, white, and blue? Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Love saving green.
Who doesn't, right? Well, the town of Wendell will start its 4th of July celebrations this morning with a veterans breakfast. Wendell Police and Fire Departments will host the breakfast for veterans and their families this morning at 9 o'clock. It'll be at the Station 3 in Wendell Falls. And later tonight, Wendell's fireworks show starts at 6 p.m. at Wendell Park. You can travel to space without even leaving the comfort of your own home.
And a Hollywood actor changes his name to make it easier to pronounce. Time for a look at what's trending. NASA Plus coming to Netflix this summer. Subscribers can expect to see rocket launches, spacewalks, and views from Earth from space. The space agency says the reason for the move is to help reach a global audience. NASA says people can still access content on its free NASA Plus app.
And the actor formerly known as Rob McElhenney has a new name. You may recall him from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Well, he legally changed his name to Rob Mack last week. He explained his decision in a video shared on social media yesterday. He said he was wasting too much time trying to get people to say or spell his name correctly, but he's also trying to have some business deals with some countries in the South.
Maybe I should be Michelle Mack. Short from economy,
maybe.
You know? All right, the new season of Squid Game is setting records for Netflix, and a new PBS series is teaching lessons about civics. David Daniel has more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Squid Game has been a gift for Netflix. The streamer says the third and final season of the hit series racked up a record 60.1 million views in its first 3 days and debuted #1 in all 93 countries where Netflix has top 10 lists.
Be honest, how much do you know about how our government works?
Author Ben Sheehan mixes constitutional literacy and pop culture in his new series, Civics Made Easy. Part 1 on the Electoral College is already available on PBS.org, the PBS app, and the PBS YouTube channel. New episodes, ranging from filibusters to where our tax dollars go to why politicians keep asking for money, come out every other Thursday this summer and fall. It's been 40 years since Phil Collins' chart-topping album No Jacket Required. Now the diamond-certified disc is being reissued in 2 new formats, a 4-LP vinyl box set featuring live and rare material and new liner notes and photos, and a Blu-ray audio disc with a new Dolby surround sound mix and stereo mix. Both are due out September 12th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And we're taking a look at dual $5,000 radar. Starting to see more cells popping up back to the west. We had a few pop up here in our northern counties. We still have some rain, but no lightning. But just beginning to see some lightning develop just to the west of Moore County there. And so that's going to be moving into the Sand Hills. What we're looking at is a slow moving cold front. And the biggest threat from this front will be heavy rain. We take a look at dual 5,000 radar. And from Roxborough over to Oxford and Henderson, north of I-85, we're seeing just some scattered showers right now. But this will intensify as the cold front moves across our area. We will likely see a lot of lightning. I was driving through this last night, coming through Winston-Salem. Lots and lots of lightning, some heavy rain. We will have downpours over our area, which leads us to the chance for some isolated flooding. Here's a look at Futurecast. You can see some of those showers up in the northern part of our viewing area. Once we hit lunchtime, look what happens by 12:30. We have some fairly widespread rain. Some of that looks fairly heavy. From Raleigh eastward is likely to be where it's heaviest, but we could see some of these downpours really in any part of the viewing area, and it's likely to be over around 5 or 6 o'clock or so. Medium risk for flooding from Smithfield to Goldsboro to Wilson to Rocky Mount, and then from Raleigh westward, it's more of a low risk, but that still means that places that flood easily or frequently could flood. Right now, we're looking at cloudy skies here over Lewisburg, 77 degrees, dew point of 71, so it's a very warm, sticky start this morning, but our highs will stay in the mid to upper 80s this afternoon because of the cloud cover that we'll see. Now, it's going to be real sticky today, lots of moisture in the atmosphere, but heading into the weekend, we may get a little dip in our forecast in terms of the muggy meter. Fireworks forecast for 9 p.m. looks great for Thursday, and really all the way through the holiday weekend will be fairly dry, but it will be hot. Coming up, we're going to have another look at your top stories, so stick around.